Behind the mic, we keep it real tight. Real stories, real people bringing truth to light. Tune in, feel the vibe, get ready for the ride. Behind the mic, your story's on the other side.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Behind the Mic. I'm your host, Mike, and today we have the amazing Mariah.
It's me.
How you doing, Mariah?
Again, I'm so good.
Yeah?
I'm so good and happy to be here.
I'm happy. I am happy you are here. And for those of you who don't know, Mariah, please let us know what you do.
Well, I wear a lot of hats, but I am a multimedia host in sports. I work specifically for the Toronto Raptors. I've done a lot of work for the NBA, Canada basketball. I was also a former NBA dancer and now choreographer for our G League team, the Raptors 905, the Saga City Dancers. So I'm kind of all over the place. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo.
That one I didn't know.
Yeah, I did it for 9 years. So I wear a lot of hats, that's for sure.
And belts.
And belts. I do. I have all my belts.
Yeah, see, there you go. So how many belts are there, though?
Taekwondo, the one that I trained in, is different. Like, we don't have brown belts, but we had double blue, double red. There's so many.
Okay.
I can't remember off the
So
top.
you went through all of them, though, to get to your black. And
Yeah.
black is the highest.
Black is the high. Well, there's different degrees, right? I'm just a first degree black belt, but you can do second degree, third degree. It took me 9 years, but I actually did Taekwondo, and it was 4 days a week, 4 to 5 at times.
Jeez.
And I was so regimented. But if it wasn't for Taekwondo, I don't think I would have been as good of a dancer because the discipline, just the intensity of it all.
Yeah.
But then I remember turning to my mom and saying, you know what, I'm ready to just be a dancer.
Yeah.
So
But did Taekwondo help you with balance?
help me in every way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helped me with strength. It was really intense though, because we had to break boards too with like our hands, with our feet. Like if you look at my pinkies, this one's permanently it doesn't go straight because I had to flex. Had to break not one but 2 boards. Just saying.
What the? I didn't even know that was like. I thought that was just in like movies.
No, you have. So when you do your black belt grading, it's 6 hours long. We had to do 1,000 jumping jacks. Like you spar, you do all your katas. Katas are just kind of a series of routines in dancer language.
Okay.
So it was cool. Anyways, it was one of the coolest times of my life. I wish I didn't take it as much for granted. I should have still trained, but it made me the best dancer because you learn discipline, you learn intensity.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I definitely didn't know that. But pretty much though, what you're trying to say is nobody can mess with you.
Technically, I'm a weapon.
Yeah. See, there you go. It's like I'm a force to be reckoned with. So
yeah, I have to tell you I'm a black belt 3 times before I whoop your.
yeah,
I'm kidding.
I will pull out the black belt.
I mean, I'm still very
whoop
rusty.
your ass.
It's been a long time.
So wait. So when did you finish then?
I was 16 when I got my black belt. So
16,
I started really young, and then I did a lot of like golden belt tournaments. So I competed a lot in sparring. I had a really good axe kick.
Is that now padding? Like when you're competing, are you like wearing any protective gear?
Oh yeah, you're wearing full gear, mouth guards, headgear,
okay.
every type of gear. Trust me, my mom was on it.
So you're like the Michelin man, just with everything kind of.
Yeah, so I always competed in point sparring. So you get a certain amount of points, depending where you hit on the body. And I used to do a lot of katas or like forms where you do just like a series of movements. And then
So the whole point system. Have you seen the show Karate Kid?
I haven't seen the stroke. I saw Three
Ninjas.
Ninjas.
Or the movie.
No, actually, isn't that
okay.
weird? Well, karate and taekwondo are different, but
So the only reason why I was going to ask was just because like they have tournaments in the shows.
Yeah.
And they did the whole pretty much like point system, or I'm assuming it was point system. Whenever they hit you, or I'm assuming it just counts as 1 point, but whenever they got hit when they weren't protecting, like if they got hit and they were protected, it doesn't count. But they get hit to the body, head, they get kicked to the ground, whatever, they consider it a point. So I was wondering if that was the same thing, or because you said there's like different points to where you hit, I'm assuming it might be a different
point sparring is very much similar to that. I wish I would have done weapons though, because like my sister did. She had a big bow, but one of my friends did nunchucks,
like a bow and arrow.
No. Sorry, like a long stick, and then you
Well,
just
that's called a
kind of,
bow.
yeah.
Ooh, those are cool.
Yeah.
So pretty much like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like what they had. They had the stick, or sorry, the
Yeah.
bow, the nunchucks.
They even did. Oh, I
what
can't.
are
There's
those?
like those knife things.
Yeah, that's what you guys just gonna name that one too, but I don't know what they're
I
called.
don't
Like
know
it was
it
like
either.
the pipe or I don't even know what it's called. The middle part of the stick, and then it comes out.
Yeah, like a hook
okay,
almost. Yeah.
So then, when did you also have? Well, you didn't do it, but was there a sword option then as well?
Not that I can remember. Maybe there very much could have been,
Okay.
but I wasn't really exposed to that too much. But I wish I would have done the nunchucks. Like, can you imagine?
That would be so cool.
It's okay. It's never too late.
No, heck no. So, the main reason why you came here, you have a story to tell us. Mm-hmm. And what would that be about?
Okay, so I am on a grief journey. So my mother was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2022. And that was the first time my life really turned upside down, because up until that point, you think the worst has happened up until something like that kind of enters your orbit. And I want to preface this by saying I was raised very, very Portuguese. So my mom and my grandmother were my life. And last year, I lost my mom after a very hard fight. And I lost my grandmother 5 weeks before that. And then I lost my aunt a few months later. So it was just like a crazy year. Now, in terms of my mom, when we had first found out, so hers was a form of sarcoma. I forget the name of it now, but it's, can you believe it was a 1 in a million, and she happened to be that one.
Oh, I got you.
And to this day, I grapple a lot of why did it have to be her? She didn't drink, she didn't smoke. She was honestly one of the healthiest people I knew. I've stopped trying to search for the why of it all, and sometimes just crappy things happen to people. But that changed me at a DNA level. And I feel like I was in survival mode for most of that. And I also was going through a breakup during the height of that.
Oh.
And it's interesting because I was talking to one of my friends and I said, one of my biggest fears was losing the people that I love. Mm-hmm. And after kind of going through that, I'm happy to at least say that I'm in a place where I don't think the void will ever completely close, but I'm in a way where I can talk about it, where I can be compassionate and connect with other people who are in this unfortunate club. Mm-hmm. It also, when it was happening, so when she first got diagnosed, we removed the brain tumor. We had an emergency surgery. And actually that day, her doctor, shout out to like people who advocate for themselves, always advocate, because she knew something was up. And for 2 months, she kept telling him, something's weird. Her motor skills were being lost. Like she forgot how to make eggs. And this is a woman who was like the best cook I knew. Or
Portuguese.
Yeah, seriously. Her speech was going, her motor skills were going. And he kept saying, it's just anxiety. It's just depression. And my mom's like, first off, and you know, like that old
Calm
school
down.
mentality. She's like, we don't believe in that. And you're like, Mom.
Yeah.
My mom went through a lot as a child. So it's not to say that I'm sure she had anxiety, but not to that level. And the way that he was dismissive was to the point where she actually didn't want to go to her appointments. So that day that she had her emergency brain surgery, I went with her to it. And he made us do this test. And it was like an anxiety depression test.
Oh my God.
And it took my mom, and it was horrible. My mom, because she had issues with reading to the point where the words would fly off the page. So I'm reading it for her. I'm walking her through it. And he comes in, he goes, you guys are still working on it. And after that, I'm like, no wonder my mother is so hesitant to come here. So anyways, that's a whole different story.
Okay.
So she says, look, like at work, she was having a lot of issues too. And she worked with patients. She was a frontline worker in a hospital. And so he goes, look, Tony, you're going to be stressed and anxious whether you work or not. You might as well make money. He said this to her. And I remember looking at how defeated she was. And I said, you know what? Oh, trust me. Trust me. He's no longer practicing now. Not because of me, but I wish it was because of me.
But I mean, hey, it did happen. So now.
Yeah. Anyways, so when that happened, I took her to a spa, just like a water spa, because I was like, maybe you are stressed. And what happened in the next 2 hours, immediately she had this splitting headache, and then she went white. And I took her home and I said, something is up. I think we need to take her to the hospital. I had a work commitment that day. So I ended up just like checking in with my dad. And finally, he's like, yeah, something's up. We're going to take her in. Thank God we did, because the doctor said, had you guys waited even a few more hours, she could have died. And so that was the first time I learned, like, you need to advocate for yourself and for your loved ones. And I was so proud of my mom for knowing her body, because every time something happened, she just knew. So she removed the tumor at the time. We found out it was cancerous, so that was pretty devastating. But once we removed it, we were like, okay, we're in the clear. 6 months goes by, everything's great. She returns to work, and then it comes back. And we learned that hers is the type that not only is it extremely rare, but it's extremely aggressive. And it attacked her bones and it attacked her organs. And I will say my mom was so much of a fighter that if you look up, I'll find the exact name next time, but if you look up the type of tumor she had, most people only live up to 3 months. She lived 2 years, and I really think it was a testament to her strength.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so when she did pass, though, she passed after having 4 brain surgeries. She died with 8 tumors, and she had shingles. She was a fighter till the very end, and it's still something that I'm grappling with now, but I am able to at least talk about it.
Yeah.
It's hard because even like she died at 59. She died 5 days before her 60th birthday. And I'm sitting here being like, as a kid, you grow up or you think, oh yeah, like we even talked even when we were so delusionally hopeful. And one thing I want to say to anybody who's going through it, be delusional about the hope, because I genuinely thought she would beat it. We all did. And I loved, shout out to Princess Margaret. Like they never gave us a timeline. And my mom would continuously beat the odds. Like she shouldn't have been walking. What she would make me do is we would escape the hospital sometimes and sneak outside and walk around the block just so she can get fresh air. Like that's how determined she was. So it's still something that even though it's been a year, I still can't believe she's gone most days. But at least I'm in a better space about the acceptance of it all.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, that's where I was too, Princess Margaret. And I mean, they really do take in everything that's going on. They don't, like you were saying with like the other doctor, they don't disregard anything. They'll, okay, listen, this is how you're feeling. Okay, cool. We will look into it. Instead of how you're saying with the other doctor being like, oh yeah, it's stress. Funny enough, that's literally what happened with me too.
Wow.
I had it in 2013, but I didn't know I had it until March 2014. And all doctors and surgeons were just like, oh, it's a benign lymph node, you know, it's an infection, it's whatever. So like you telling me that story is reminding me of what I went through. So it's very relatable and scary to know that I thought, not saying I'm the only one, but I thought I was one of the odd people that was diagnosed wrong. But to know that it's more common, it's kind of scary because, hey, don't get me wrong, like, yes, people make mistakes, things like that. But like for people who are, you know, going to school for so many years to practice these things, you would assume that they know this on the back of their hands. This is what you're being paid so much to know. And to then just to be disregarded, like, oh, it's stress.
Yeah, the dismissiveness of it all is, I think, something that I'm still very angry about because, sure, we couldn't have caught it sooner. However, thank God my mom kept going back. And, like, it was to a point where we went to the hospital, I think, 3 times. Once because she was having heart palpitations. So they're like, let's check your heart. They kept being like, it's all in your head. Like, there's nothing wrong with your heart. Like, she was having heart palpitations and they kept being like, oh, no, it's in your head. And almost being gaslighted.
Both of them.
by the medical system. So it was really, like, in the beginning stages, I actually missed that stage of hope because you're like, oh, we don't know yet. I'm sure it's nothing crazy. But at the same time, you're also putting your trust into these doctors. And I don't want to, like, shit on the medical system because I know they're so overwhelmed. But to also be honest, My mom had brain surgeries, and it was to the point where they didn't even have rooms for her after she had her surgery. So we were waiting in the hallways while she's lying in a bed there. And that's when I was like, I really hope we can fix this broken medical system, because there's no reason why people should be jumping through hoops to figure out what's going on. And then going through something as traumatic as a brain surgery, they were trying to usher us out after 2 days because they didn't have beds. And we had to fight. My mom was in the ICU. What do you mean we're trying to usher her out?
She just had brain surgery. I'm sorry. And she can go home within 2 days?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Going back to like the main part of your story, when you found out, how long of a time period was it when you actually found out that it was cancer? Because like you were saying, the doctor didn't know, or, well, yeah, technically the doctor didn't know and was dismissing that, everything your mom was saying was going on. The time period from when you didn't know to finding out what it was, then to being able to actually do something about it. Like, what was that time? What did that time period look like? Was it a few days? Was it weeks? Was it like within 24 hours that you found out all of these things?
So she had symptoms, I want to say, at least 4 months before the emergency surgery, but after the emergency surgery, they took a biopsy. So at least it was immediate once they knew and once they removed the tumor. And where it sat in her brain, it was safe enough for them to at least remove it, which I'm super grateful for, because some people have tumors where they can't even touch them.
Yes.
But the thing with her sarcoma, it's always going to grow back. Like, you never, even sarcoma groups, it's almost sad to join those groups because there's never really a positive end to it. But what I will say is, yeah, she found out immediately, and then it was gone for 6 months. We rang the bell, we were in remission. And then when it came back full force. And this is after radiation. I don't think we did chemo the first round, though.
Really?
I think it was just radiation.
That's great.
And then it was removed, and then we didn't need to. But then when it came back, we went for chemo.
Chemo, okay. So the 4 months, though, that you said that she was going through all of the stuff before the surgery, you still didn't know, though, that it was cancer.
Never. We didn't even know that she had a tumor. We just
So
thought,
even that, wow.
yeah, because so what was happening is she was very forgetful. So a part of you was like, could it be early Alzheimer's? Because there was one time too where I was helping her cook something, and she couldn't remember. Like I said, hey, oh no, sorry, she was eating, and she started eating with the spoon upside down. So it was like reversed, and she didn't know she was doing it. Or when we were cooking, she couldn't remember like what the utensils, like I'd say, hey, can you pass this? And she didn't know what it was. And I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Oh, okay.
And then she would start crying a lot. The crappy part about where her tumors sat, they sat on where her emotions and her motor skills were.
Okay.
So it actually made her, that actually I think did turn her a little bit depressed, but she would just forget a lot of things. Everything she would do would be super backwards. Like that day that we actually sent her to the hospital, when we were at the spa, she put her bathing suit over top her normal clothes. And you have to understand, my mom was like the coolest, smartest person in the world. And for that to happen, that's when the alarms were going.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, we can't ignore this. And my mom, God bless her, even going through that, she was so stubborn. She's like, I'm fine. Up until the last second where my dad's like, you're not fine. Oh, man.
Just put some, was it Vicks?
Vicks.
Vicks Vapor on
Vicks.
it. No, that's not how it works. I feel like our parents were like that. Well, I'm assuming it was their upbringing too, but it was slap some dirt on it. You're good.
Yeah.
Go about your life. You have things to do.
Yeah.
But also, growing up like that, put our parents in such a stronger position in life. Don't get me wrong. Yes, there are still things that can kick our butts, but how you said that, it was only supposed to be, I think you said 6 months?
3 months.
Oh, sorry, 3 months. 3 months. But she was for 2 years.
2 years.
That says so much about her as a person, her character. Again, it might have also been her upbringing being like, hey, you are tough. This is who you are.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to stop you. And she proved that for 2 years.
Yeah. And what was nice too is she always knew she had a lot to live for. Like she had 6 girls, right? Yeah. At the time, my youngest sister was in high school and my other one was about to start university. Like I think to a fault, my mom was so selfless. you know, where I wish, going back in time, I wish I could have built up her confidence more to take more care of herself. And the crappy thing about this experience was when my mom passed, the way she spoke about herself. And this is a woman who, you have to understand, my grandmother was a single mother of 3 at a time where even being a single mother was shunned. So they faced so many hardships, that alone. They didn't come from a lot of money. And yet my grandmother was able to buy the house that I grew up in, and then my parents got it. So the history there is rich.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Or how my mom, people always say, oh, Mariah, you know, you started as a dancer and you built this. No, my mom started in the kitchen and built an incredible career. And she never took no for an answer, and was probably one of the most, like, fearless people I knew. Like, even as a kid, apparently she used to beat up the boys that would make fun of my uncle, who was like way older than her. So she was a badass,
amazing.
fearless woman. So to see just kind of where the journey made her look at herself as though like she didn't like to look in mirrors after, or how it really attacked her confidence and self-worth. I really wish, you know, as a kid, you just, and I remember there's so many times I try and like emotionally regulate her and be like, no. And, you know, I would just, all the things she's instilled in me to be confident is the stuff that I would try and shoot back at. And I just wish when she passed, she understood just how impactful she was, and like didn't see, you know, she always felt like she could do more. But something like cancer, it's so out of our control. She did everything she could have. So yeah, that's just the one thing I wish she could have just saw herself the way I saw her.
But you know what? Like, as much as she is not seeing it right now, the fact that all of her loved ones do see that, they can continue that throughout the rest of their lives, right? So they will forever have this amazing memory and just overlook just of who she was as a person, what she accomplished, her raising 6 daughters. She did so much, and you have those memories that will live with you forever, which I know obviously it's always better to have said person here with you.
Yeah.
But I'm speaking of past experience, not just of my health history of going through cancer, but I've had a couple of family members who have passed away as well. Actually, this tattoo here, it's my middle name. It's David. It was my uncle, who my dad's brother, who was pretty much the same layout as me. He was diagnosed wrong, same age as me, and they didn't figure out what he had until it was too late. He had leukemia, and by the time they found out, this was like back in the day. So I never even got to meet him, which really sucks, but I was named after him, which I absolutely love, because he was also into the arts as well. He did plays and things like that, act. So I was like, you know what? That is absolutely amazing. I'm so happy to have that name. But the one thing I love about his story was he actually, I feel like, had true love, because he had a fiance, and they were, you know, obviously planning on getting married and all that stuff at some point. They find out the news. They told him he only has a certain time left. And he was like, hey, listen, you know, we know somewhat of a timeline. I would still love to marry you, but if you don't want to, I 100% get it. Just pretty much let me know what you would like to do. She was like, why wouldn't I want to marry you? Like, I would love to. So he got to spend the rest of his life as a married man with someone who he was truly in love with. So as much as, like, again, we want those people still around, it's nice to know that whether they've had those memories up until the end, and then, of course, we get those memories of them that we get to keep and cherish, and pretty much like continue their legacy on, no matter, you know, what stage of our lives we're at or how far along we go, they will always come with us. So no matter our career changes, where we potentially move to, or, you know, whatever happens to us in life, we will still have them, and it will continue to just put like a smile on our face. You know, those like odd moments where you're just sitting there like, yes, you know, you had mentioned, you know, yes, there are the very hard and long grieving stages, but it's like you get those like one moments where something you just remember just like one little thing, and you just get that chuckle and you just
Yeah.
it's I love you, and I'm so happy I've had those memories with you and got to spend all of those moments that we did and we shared together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Well, one thing that came to mind when you were saying that. So my mom, we had a couple of dogs growing up.
oh, nice.
And whenever they'd do something wrong, she'd go, ay, ay, ay. And you know me, Delilah's my dog. She's the love of my life. And since she was like 4 months old, and actually I got Delilah a week before my mom passed, and I was able to at least show my mom. At this point,
okay, that's
I know
amazing.
my mom
Okay.
was she wasn't able to communicate outside of blinking. So we said yes twice,
Okay.
blink twice, and then no, blink once. So I showed her this photo of my dog. And it was actually the last time. Oh, I said I wouldn't cry on the internet. It's okay.
Okay.
It was the last conversation, I guess I would say, that I had with her. And it was me showing her my dog. And I'm like, don't worry, you're going to get to meet her. And she smiled, and then she had a little tear go down. The hard part about that was she was fully conscious. She just couldn't communicate.
For sure, yeah.
But like showing her that and then getting Delilah. And I remember when I got Delilah, I was like, am I ready for this? Like, oh God, I'm in charge of your life. And then when my mom passed, it was just like the most beautiful sense of alignment. But anyways, Delilah was a fresh puppy. And when she would be bad, I went, yeah. And then I paused in my tracks. And this was after my mom passed. And I laughed. And I laughed. And then I cried. And then I laughed because I was like, it's those moments where you're like, oh, Tony's still there, you know?
No, that's funny how like kind of like all of our stories have somewhat aligned, because when I just finished my whole cancer treatment, I had 3 goals that I wanted to do. There was like a list of things I wanted to do and things like that, but there were 3 things I wanted to do just I hadn't been able to do for myself. And it was get a car for myself finally, because I had always been transiting using my parents' car. I'm like, I need that freedom for myself, because I was also like, I was only 23. So I'm like, I want a car so I can get more work. This. Anyways, that's not related to the part of your story yet. But then I was like, I want my own place. So that was also something I was working on. But the first thing I really, truly wanted to do when I got out of the hospital, I'm like, I want my own dog. And I was like, I think that is going to be such a nice change from me always having to take care and worry about myself. It was a nice distraction, being like, hey, this is my little furry child.
Yeah, literally.
Right? Yeah. So it was not that I was doing it to be distracted, it just happened that way. So his name's Benjamin. So I'm allergic to pretty much all animals, so I have to stick with poodles and things like that because they're hypoallergenic. So when I found him, and immediately I was like, yes, he is perfect. I want him. It was like right away my mind was distracted, and all my focus and attention went to him, being like, okay, I need to. I hit that by accident. Continuity. I was like, I need to take care of him. I need to focus on, I need to train him. I need to, make sure he learns all this. I need to figure out food. It was like right away. And then it wasn't that long after I was out of the hospital that I got him. So like, yes, I was 95%, 96% healthy.
Yeah.
Like, or at least like feeling that way. I didn't know what was going on inside, but I was at least feeling that way. But that little bit that I was still like, you should pay attention to, I immediately forgot because my focus went to Benjamin. I'm like, he's brand new. He's new to this world. Like, he doesn't know what the heck's going on. Like, I need to make sure I'm there for him. And it was just a quick change. So just going off of like your story, that's how it sounds like what happened with you. Just, it was not, I don't want to say like a relief, but just that change of thought. Your thought process is now different, and you're just like, okay, cool. Let me give all my love here, because I've been given so much love
Yeah.
from my mom. I have so much to share with you. And in a sense, you're giving that feeling from your mom through you.
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah.
when you were telling that story, I was like, oh my God, like everything is just so relatable to, from, again, just like from the beginning process of how you're talking about the misdiagnosed to then the quick turnaround of being like, hey, we need a plan of action.
Yeah.
So, question now for you, with everything that, once she did pass, was there anything specific that, say somebody is going through that right now, they have a family member, a friend that they have lost, was there anything specific that not 100% got you through it? Because again, this is just such a long process. Was there anything though that you noticed that helped you at least just take a step forward into not moving past the grief, but just managing it?
Yeah. Two things actually. One was I ended up finding community in friends. Like I lost a lot of friends, but by my choice, where it was like I had some friends that wanted me to show up more while I was grieving. And I was like, until you are in my shoes, you have no idea how hard it is to just get up and shower, let alone, or like, just get up and be. But at the same time, it was like life did me such a beautiful turn of events, because it was like I left behind anybody who was no longer meant to be in my path going forward in that time. Even though it hurt, it was like a lot of people I thought would be in my life for long periods, but then I found this community that now is so unshakable. Like I can think of a few friends who showed up in a way that was so radical that I feel indebted to them for. So I would say find your people, find the sense of community, and like even the friends who messaged me and I wouldn't respond for weeks on end because I just couldn't. I was in such a state of freeze, but that still showed up for me. They really helped me get through it. And then one of my good friends, shout out Sierra, she had said, stop thinking about how you should be and just be. And that changed a lot of it, because especially someone like me, prior to all of this, I was like, I'm a boss woman, like no excuses, you get the job done. And I had these ideas, not even realizing, because I'm such a perfectionist, of how I should be managing and how I should show up. Whereas when I kind of took a step back, I was like, if today I need a couch rot, I'm going to do that.
Oh, of course.
And giving yourself that grace. So I think just the biggest overarching thing I could say is give yourself a lot of grace, because that first year is like it's still such a blur to me. And I saw this TikTok actually recently where they're like, for anybody who's lost someone, you need to give them at least 3 years before they can even level themselves out. Luckily I feel like I've got there a bit sooner, but yeah, I would say just lean on, find community and find solid people. Like the people who showed up for me then, they're my life. They're lifelong friends.
Yeah.
They're family at this point. And not being so critical on how we need to show up for ourselves, because it's debilitating.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. And also, just to touch on what you had said, I appreciate that your friends didn't hold you to not replying back or not answering them or following up or anything like that, because like you said, you need to give said person time. So of course, yes, that's amazing that they're reaching out, they're checking in, making sure you're doing well, or if you want to, like you were saying, like go out, whether it's go out, get something to eat, talk, whatever, get coffee. The ones that stick around even though you don't reply, like you said, are definitely the real ones, because I was the same. I couldn't even look at my screen, it would hurt. So I'm just like, and I would not trying to make myself sound but I had a lot of people reaching out to me, a lot of messages, a lot of missed calls, texts, all these things. And I remember like I would have maybe 10 minutes in a day where I'm just like, okay, I tolerate my very dimmed screen. So I'll start at the bottom of like all the whatever that came in. I'll go as much as I can, try and update people, whatever, reply back. And then once I notice that's starting to hurt a bit, I lock the phone,
Yeah.
put it down, put it away. And then the worst part is by the time I get back to my phone again, those people have already replied back to me. So it's like, oh God,
I know,
okay, so now I gotta move up from them and then start with the people I haven't messaged again, and then it's just like a vicious circle. And a lot of people I didn't get back to. And like you said though too, there were people that like stopped, almost like, okay, well you're not talking to me. I was like, well, no, I'm not talking to you. I can't talk to you.
Yeah.
And it's the same with you. It's like whether you went through it or you know somebody who went through it. And also like what you had said, you're not in my shoes. You have absolutely no idea how I'm feeling. So just please, if you can, be understanding. I want you in my life, but if for whatever reason you think me not getting back to you is a reason to just disappear, then that's on you. Because
And I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah,
I can
you
honestly
should.
say the people that are meant to be in my life in this season, they not only earned their spot, like
tryouts.
literally it's shown me also how I can show up as a friend too, because I have, or even as a coach, like I've dealt with some dancers who've been in similar situations. So the way I show up for them, if they have shows or gigs and stuff, I try and show up to be in place of maybe who they've lost. That means so much to me. Even a love language now, because what I will say, in terms of my values, showing up is so important, because when I was going through that, I felt very alone in it, especially in the beginning. And then finally, as things were progressing, like my friends who are my family, they didn't make me feel alone anymore. But you have to also understand your mind frame isn't necessarily the most functional. So like, I'm not even thinking of other people when I'm finding out, like on my 30th birthday, I found out my mom's cancer was terminal and she only had months left. Like stuff like that, where it's so hard to even be excited about certain things. Or even to this day, my birthday no longer holds the same kind of like weight, because it just reminds you of things. So you need to surround yourself with people who are at least understanding of that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there were times where I wanted to respond, but you're almost looking at your phone and you're like, what do I even say? And also, the times I did talk about it, you almost feel like my whole life is this. Mm-hmm. It's like, and like there was times, I mean, that whole season when I was going to my mom with her chemo appointments, and then you run to a game day, and then you're just...
I remember you would be updating me.
Yeah, you're just completely on. I'm able to compartmentalize, but then you go back home and you're alone, and you're like, this is my reality. Like, I love that I had work as an outlet. I love that I had such good people around me who genuinely cared. But I still don't even know how to describe the level of emotional exhaustion that puts you in this place of just like survival mode. I think I was in survival mode for at least 3 years.
Of course.
So my expectations of myself, I was my biggest critic. I was like, why can't you just like do the things you said you were going to do? Why can't you just text these people back? Because I was like, all my energy went into caring for my mom. And that's why I'm so like lucky in a way, where my schedule, once we were done in April, my mom was in the ICU pretty much the whole time up until she passed. Like, we were at the hospital more than I was ever home, but I spent every second I could there. We would do sleepovers. We watched The Last Dance, right? So like, I was literally sleeping with her, even though you're not allowed doing this, in her hospital bed together. So I can honestly say,
They can relax about
right?
that.
Oh, trust me, me and my mom, we have so many. There were a lot of funny stories in that as well, but just being there together, I can say I maximized the time that I did have.
That's amazing. And that's also like another good, not tip, but like that's just something good for somebody that's going through it to just keep in mind, just being like, hey, like make those moments count. And like you were saying, just showing up, being there. I know you were saying that, you know, she had lost all of her motor skills, so communication was through blinking. Even for me, I was in so much pain. Like I couldn't even drink water. Mm-hmm. So I just laid on the bed and I would sleep a lot of the times because I just didn't want to like feel the pain. Yeah. So people still showed up. People still visited. So the fact that you were going there so much, still working, and still creating memories for the both of you, that I think that is also something people should also know is like, as much as whatever stage they're going through, whatever situation they're in, they are still going to remember what you did for them and the fact that you were there for them. So in a sense, it's a great memory knowing that, like, hey, yes, it is very sad what your mom went through, but she has all of these amazing memories. Just, I'm sure if she could truly physically show it, every time you walked through that door, you lit her up.
I will say my aunt actually confirmed that. She's
Oh.
like, I always knew when you were in the room with your mom because she was in a certain mood.
See, yeah, so right there, right? So
Yeah.
you were still creating such amazing memories and moments with her for her to just take and just have, not to say, like, it's going to be weird to say, but like as best of like the last remaining days as possible.
Yeah.
Right? If that can even be a thing, you did that for her. And I'm sure your sisters too. But like, you know, like you.
That's the favorite.
Okay, well, I mean, I can't say anything. So that's amazing that you were able to do that for her. But also, would there be anything else that you could let somebody know that whether didn't work for you that you thought might have worked, or something else that you might also think like, you know what, this is something that I would have done differently?
I would say, well, there's a couple things. So what I liked that I did was creating a sense of normalcy for her through it. I
Okay.
think that helped my mom remember to be a mom. Like, you know, even just having life chats. I tried not to talk too much about her sickness because I felt like everybody and their mothers were always saying to my mom, like, are you eating? Are you taking your meds? Are you doing that? And that I could see how it physically and emotionally drained her.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to come into the room and I'm going to treat you exactly as if this wasn't even happening. Obviously, I was always making sure she was comfortable. And at one point, I'm bathing her, I'm feeding her, like, and I tried to make those moments fun too, because obviously our parents there's a level of pride they have. But I always said, what do you mean? Like, you did this to me, let me do it to you. So I always tried to create a sense of normalcy in a very abnormal situation. One thing I feel like some advice I can give is you can't control how they're going to feel. You can't manage their emotions. And actually, it was my amazing therapist. Shout out Zara. I love you. There was a point where I was trying my best to like manage my mother's emotions, and my mom wasn't very emotional, but when she did cry and stuff, I try and like cheer her up, or I try and like do everything I could to be like, see, like, you know. And then my therapist said you have to almost just allow her to be that as well, because I'm a fixer, and you know, I've always been the person where it's like, okay, let's find solutions, let's you know. But I think sometimes you have to accept that some things are out of your control, and if they need a moment, let them have their moments, right? I also thought that I could protect my mom from the world, and I don't think that's realistic. So I always felt like there were some days where I'm like, I think she might need like even 30 minutes alone. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go get a soup. I'm going to give you some me time.
Yeah.
I think allowing them to have those moments, because I know my mom, whenever we were around, she always put on her tough face. And I was like, I want you to feel through it still too. Don't worry about us.
Yeah. And like you're saying, like, yes, I'm going to treat you like nothing's happening, but I'm not trying to take away the fact that you're still going through it. So
Yes.
feel how you feel. And when those hard moments come, I'm here, but don't hold it in.
Yeah.
Just let it out. Don't bottle it up. Don't try and hide it from us. We know what's going on.
Yeah.
So you don't need to hide it. Like, if you feel sick, if you need to cry, if you whatever, just do it.
Yeah.
Open up, and once you're done, or if you need to talk about it or what, then I am here for you. So that's good that you did. Like that's probably, I would say, the best advice to give somebody in terms of like communicating with somebody that's currently going through it. Don't talk to them like there is something wrong or that they're different.
A wounded bird. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because one, it's now going to be continuously on their mind, and that can trigger stress, anxiety, all of these things on top of what they're already going through.
Yeah.
So you talk to them like a normal person, talk to them like you're saying, talk to them about work, things that you've seen in like outside in public or on the news, whatever. Just keep it real and being like, hey, I know what the heck's going on with you. I'm here. And if you're feeling ways, tell me. If not, we're going to talk about literally any and everything else.
Yeah.
Keep your mind off of it and just almost like giving them a break from what they're going through, right?
Yes.
But I want to thank you very much for coming on to my podcast here behind the mic. I appreciate it. This has been an amazing time and very, very eye-opening and very inspiring to know that, you know, you've been able to overcome what you have so far and still do what you are currently doing and what you're growing to keep doing, and still being a very, very strong, independent woman, and just showing the world what you can and what you will be doing. So that is truly amazing. So thank you so much for coming on. And before you go, if you have anything that you're working on, if you want to plug in your social handles so people know where to find you, you can do that, and we'll sign off.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. This was such a special and needed conversation. You can follow me at the Mariah Amber. I do want to be sharing more about my grief journey. I do a couple posts here and there, but overall I have some exciting projects coming up. So stay tuned. Again, that's at the Mariah Amber. And let me know how you felt about this episode. I'd really appreciate it.
Yes, perfect. Well, thank you very much. That was Behind the Mic with Mariah. And like, share, subscribe, and tune in for following episodes. Peace.
Behind the mic, your story's on the other side.